So anything that's placed in the system is guaranteed to never have changed, and it is guaranteed to be protected. So clearly these are elements of a normal IT operation you would expect. And in and of itself, just storing the data, even preserving the data, isn't nearly enough. But what we're recognizing is this technology allows organizations to host any type of information: email data, image data, application data, documents, etc. Any digital asset can be preserved in the system. When it's preserved, it's of course set according to specific retention requirements. So for example, we will retain this data according to our policy or our regulated authority for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, etc. And of course, what's part of that is then I will guarantee the disposition of the data when it expires. Or I could go so far as to say I will guarantee the disposition when requested to, i.e. a right to be forgotten request. This is all happening within the software of the content platform. Now what's important to note here is this was thought of in the past as a storage system, a large-scale piece of infrastructure you would sell. It is now managed through the software, the layer atop the storage. In essence, this is all software. It runs, of course, on Hitachi storage technology, but it can run anywhere. It can run in a virtual system, it can run as software only, etc. So the technology is all about what the software does. Now, up until now, I've spoken about IT systems and how to manage the data. We're going to add to it something more interesting, which is how to change a business outcome. But before I go on, it is at this level that governance is achieved through the software. Now, the one key to note here, and why this is somewhat different than an application, is that everything we speak of, retention, disposition, augmentation of data, can happen for any application data. Meaning, I can take this in for email, because of course there are software systems that do this for email. I can take this in for MRI data. I can take this in for document data, for sensor data, for any type of information. So I am no longer restricted to doing this on an application by application basis. In fact, what we say is we're actually freeing the data from the application. Absolutely central to this concept is we remove the data from the application's control. Think of it today. Think of applications. Think of all the data that we use in our business and our world. It all comes from what? An application that creates it. Yet, of course, if we do so, we're bound to that application. In content platform technology, those connections are essentially severed. The application can still see and access the data. That has not changed. But because of the architecture of a content platform, any application can now get to that data. It is an open format. This is a networked solution that is very common in a private data center. But, and this is important to note, the technology we speak of here, not just from Hitachi, but other manufacturers as well, it's the foundation of every storage cloud. Every storage cloud you've ever envisioned is built upon this type of architecture, because it has the ability to remove itself from the application. So it's central, which is why we see so many organizations moving in this direction. Now, to be clear, organizations often start with this technology because they want to preserve, let's say, a medical image for the life of a patient. Important things to do. But it's evolving because, as I said, that image can become part of a better diagnosis, better healthcare.